Today I'm going first class on America's worst cruise for 48 hours from Florida to the Bahamas. I'll show you exactly what it's like on board from the best suite. With, broken hot tub, fine dining in the restaurants, and of course the various facilities on board. It's not all plain sailing though, with drama as soon as we leave port. With my ticket costs running into the thousands of dollars, join me in Florida as I review Margaritaville at sea. Well, hello there and welcome back to the channel. You join me here in the sunny Fort Lauderdale, where we're going to catch our transfer over to the cruise terminal. Our cruise departs from the port of Palm Beach, about 50 miles north of Fort Lauderdale. It's likely a cruise terminal you're not overly familiar with, because, well, Margaritaville is the only line operating from here. Upon arrival, we'll first need to get our luggage checked, essentially making sure the tags we've attached to our bags are correct. Around 10 minutes of queuing later, we're approved to head over into the main terminal building. You'll note we still have our bags, and this is because we're required to drop these off ourselves after security. And finally to jettison our heavy suitcases. Now to head up to check-in. It's super busy up here, but in order to make this a first class experience, I've paid extra for expedited check-in. Sure enough, we're directed over to the express check-in area, though the entire space is hectic with multiple employees barking orders at you. So what formalities need sorting? We'll need to provide our passports, cruise tickets and onward travel plans. A few minutes later, we're directed over to what I like to call the upsell section, where you're encouraged to buy a drinks package or shore excursions before boarding. However, we have a VIP lounge invite because of the cabin I've booked. In reality, it's a function room with filter coffee, so nothing really to hang about in. Let's waste no more time and go and get on board. Coming in at 721 foot in length, Margaritaville at Sea Paradise wasn't always adorned in palm trees and parrots. Its history is a little complicated. Starting life in 1991, she was originally built for Costa Cruises at a cost of $316 million, sailing under the name of Costa Classica. This was until 2018, when she was bought by Bahama Paradise Cruise Lines and renamed as the Grand Classica. Then in 2022, rebranded to Margaritaville at Sea, and after a refit, the Grand Classica was named the Margaritaville Paradise and began sailing later that year. So, all caught up? Let's see what it's really like on board then, on one of the oldest cruise ships operating out of the US. A quick swipe of my freshly minted cruise card and I'm welcomed on board. The grand lobby is also home to the front desk, shore excursion office, and what we're funneled into, the photo booth. I guess when in Rome and all that. $49 lighter, should we go and check out our room then? We're currently on deck 5, but we'll need to head right up to deck 10 for our suite. As per usual on cruise ships, embarkation day is hectic, so we'll of course need to cram into the lift. What I didn't expect was for the deck to be announced in Italian. Deck 10. Of course, this is from the ship's previous Italian owner, Costa. We're in one of the only 10 grand suites on board, and interestingly the only staterooms which offer a balcony. Welcome on board our new home, Margaritaville. But most importantly, welcome back to the channel, Mum and Dad.
Hi.
How's it going?
All good?
Yeah?
Lovely.
Going on another cruise, Dad. Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be good. Well, let's see. Let's first of all start off by taking a proper look around our suite. Well, it's fair to say the brochure looks impressive. Jacuzzi tub, private balcony, and over 670 square foot of space. You're met first with a small dining table with a complimentary fruit bowl and $5 waters. There's a fridge, safe, and of course your life jackets readily accessible. Moving into the main living room space, you'll find an armchair and sofa. My eye glimpses what looks to be some kind of mould on the ceiling. Moving around the corner, you're met by a queen-sized bed, along with a writing desk, which has probably seen better days. There's a multifunctional plug which sadly doesn't work, and a sliding door onto our balcony, which we'll take a look at in just a minute. There's 3 wardrobes providing ample storage space, along with just 2 dressing gowns and 2 pairs of slippers. Now for the bathroom. Many online state these smelt poorly, but I have to say it smelt pretty fresh. There's a double sink with Margaritaville branded toiletries, some glasses and coasters which could probably do with a refresh, and upon closer inspection, much of the finishings could do with this also. Now for the jacuzzi tub, which they make reference to online. Sadly, this appears to no longer work. Oh, and of course there's the dreaded shower curtain that sticks to you as you shower. As you can hear, the best suites are situated right under the main pool deck, so if you want some rest, I suggest bringing earplugs. Anyway, it's time for the all-important safety video. We're about to depart.
The instructions that follow, detailing the actions you need to take to get to your assigned muster station.
So where exactly are we going? For the first leg of our journey, we'll be sailing for the next 100 miles, out over to Grand Bahama Island. Okay, this isn't quite right. As soon as we set off, we appear to be coming back to port. Well, I'm no maritime expert, but I don't think that's supposed to happen. Thankfully, the port's vendors have taken the brunt of the impact, or else we'd be having a very different conversation, I feel. There's no announcement as to why we're back, or what's going on, but there's some activity down below. It appears we're about to depart for the second time, but now we've got backup to prevent the same happening again. I can't say I'm filled with confidence, however. It seems that we are finally on our way. Unsure what was going on there, but anyway, now it is time for dinner. Attire-wise, there is no dress code. However, Mum and Dad have dressed up, so I think I'm going to make the effort. So, dinner options on board. Well, there's a few, though with lots of upcharges of course. As it's our first night, I think we might as well check out the JWB Steakhouse, named of course after Jimmy William Buffett himself. We're warmly welcomed into the restaurant and shown over to a table by the window. To note, this is charged at $55 per person, which is not unreasonable at all for a specialty restaurant. To ensure this is a true first class trip, I of course must order a bottle of champagne. Ah yes, there's Moet available for $110. Our appetizers have arrived. Let's see what we've gone for. Dad has the shrimp cocktail, whilst Mum and me have the wedge salad, though Mum's is without bacon. It's fresh and very tasty. A top up of champagne later and we're on to our mains. Dad has gone for the pan-fried salmon. Mum, being vegetarian, has a special off-menu Indian selection. And for me, of course, a steak. Ordered medium rare. To close off, you bet we're filling our boots with dessert. Dad shares the key lime pie with Mum, and I order the chocolate cake. Yes, I know it's a specialty restaurant, but this was outstanding. I make it time for some evening entertainment. Let's head over to the Stars on the Water Theatre, located on decks 8 and 9 at the front of the ship. There are nightly performances here, and it's offered on a complimentary basis. They've even kept the original mosaic artwork around the perimeter of the theatre. Anyway, let's get settled. The show is about to start. Well, welcome back to our suite. We've had a interesting, but I'd say overall very good evening.
Lovely.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Brilliant meal.
Oh, my
Very
curry
good.
was good.
That was good that they adapted, I have
Yeah.
to say. Lastly, sleeping arrangements. You may have noticed there's only one bedroom. Do not worry. The sofa bed's been made up,
Oh, that's lucky.
and
yeah.
I'm going to take the sofa bed. you're going to have the main bed. Now before I forget, we'll need to place our breakfast order for room service brekkie. This is done the same way as most cruise lines, by completing this form and placing it outside our suite before sleep. Naturally, the NASA PJs are out for another outing. Good morning. In my slumber, we've arrived into Grand Bahama Island. Sadly, unless you book an excursion with the cruise line, you're pretty much stuck at the port here, which is quite a distance from any attractions. But our main attraction is right here, starting with the balcony, which, well, it's fair to say it's seen better days. I think over 30 years at sea has definitely taken its toll here. Anyhow, I make it time for breakfast. I'll give Mum and Dad a shout and we'll take a look at what we've ordered. Mum has the berry granola parfait, whilst Dad has the bakery selection, which, well, they're stale and inedible if I'm honest. I, however, opt for the pancake stack, an American breakfast staple, which is pretty good. Now for the all-important caffeine hit. I did try to tick cappuccino, but there was no option. This filter coffee is okay, but we'll need to go in search of something better in a moment. For now, I'll take a shower. Howdy, Dad. Nice hat.
Ahoy there.
Do you come and join me?
Yeah, what's going on? Oh, I see you're looking at my website. I hear everyone enjoyed that.
Hi, what are you two up to?
Oh, come and take a seat. You've got to wear the hat.
This is Odoo, an all-in-one management tool, and they have a website builder which Dad used to create his website for free. He did this simply with no technical skills required. In fact, to demonstrate the simplicity, how about Mum shows us, who's never used Odoo before? Let's make some additions to Dad's website. The grid allows you to easily manipulate the layout by simply dragging and dropping blocks into place. You can customize each block by adding content, functionalities such as animation, colors, and image shapes. What's more, if you're short of inspiration, ChatGPT can help you generate text or reformulate parts of it.
Hey, look what I've added to your website.
Oh, let me see.
Go and check out Odoo today using my link in the description to get started with your first application for free. You'll get lifetime support, unlimited hosting, and a custom domain name offered for 1 year. Right, let's explore this ship. I think we need to find a decent coffee. What do you say?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
Deck 9.
At this rate, I may even pick up a bit of Italian after this trip. So, the aforementioned coffee. Best to start at the ship's speciality coffee shop on Deck 9. Well, unfortunately, the coffee shop is closed mid-morning. Strange. Let's go and find where else we can have a coffee then. Apparently Euphoria on Deck 8 is the place to go then. This is the ship's main bar in the evenings, and it's also where live entertainment and game shows are held. Now, however, it's pretty deserted, but I'm hoping it will furnish us with some decent coffee. At least it better be for nearly $16 for 3. I must say it does feel rather strange, sipping a cappuccino with Jimmy Buffett on loop on a projector behind me in a deserted lounge cum bar. Just adjacent to Euphoria is the ship's games room and library. Now I can't say I was expecting great things, as this isn't exactly the focus of most people's Margaritaville cruise, but my word, this is dire. On the plus side, there is a very beat up game of Monopoly on offer. Or perhaps a game of giant Jenga. Now this I rate. But the library is somewhat of a mystery to me. Of the 10 books available, which are all in other languages, the Italian to Portuguese dictionary is probably the highlight. Oh, and before I forget, the art supplies. Right, let's move on and explore the upper decks of our ship. We'll start with deck 11. Interestingly, this lift no longer states the floors in Italian.
11. Licensed to chill deck.
Here you'll find Margaritaville's 2 pools, along with the spa and gym. First up is the relaxation area, which funnily enough is directly below the pickleball court, and as we know from my room, whilst the carpets were likely replaced during the refit, they seem to be suffering from mould by the windows. In terms of the gym itself, this is decent with modern equipment and a good selection of machines and free weights. There's even a well-maintained exercise classroom. Now for the spa treatment rooms. Personally, this doesn't give me relaxation vibes, and more unfortunately like a hospital. Unsure if this would make me inclined to spend upwards of $200 for a massage, though I don't doubt the staff are brilliant given my brief interaction with them. Anyway, the outer decks, bizarrely lined in AstroTurf. Let's proceed into the central catwalk and check out one of the 2 pools. It's definitely on the smaller side with capacity for just 18 people, but that hasn't hampered the cruise ship's younger guests from having fun. As with the Italian-speaking elevator, there are still many references throughout the ship of its history. For example, on the funnels, if you look closely, there's still the Costa Cruises logo. As is tradition on the channel, I make it pickleball time, which appears to be quite a focus given the branding up here and what's shown in the ads online. Oh dear, judging by the condition of this, I don't think it's in use anymore. From the literal speed bumps to the tattered surface. I guess the silver lining here is that the relaxation room below won't have pickleball disturbing their zen. Anyway, onwards to the aft of the ship. Here you'll find the 12-volt bar, which we'll be heading to, you guessed it, for 5 PM for a margarita. This overlooks the interestingly named 12-volt pool. Now, I don't mean to nitpick, but it's not the most aesthetic, is it? And I guess that's due to the era of the ship, and as a result you're unable to see out thanks to the steel walls around the perimeter. There's also 2 jacuzzis back here, which have probably seen better days, but thankfully are in working order, unlike the one in our room. All this exploring has got me hungry. Shall we go and see what's for lunch then? The Port of Indecision buffet will cater to this. Dad actually mentioned, and it's a good point, they really missed a trick not calling this the Jimmy buffet. After washing your hands in the utilitarian sinks, you're met with the main buffet area, which boasts a selection of salads, meat and various hot dishes. There's also a made-to-order panini section. And should you have a sweet tooth, there's a selection of sweet treats, fruits and even soft-serve ice cream. In terms of seating, there's ample inside, but as we're in the Bahamas, I'd far rather sit outside. This is where the 5 o'clock somewhere bar and grill comes in. This is what I expected most of the ship to be like, and it's clearly where a lot of the refurbishment budget went down. This feels far more on brand for Margaritaville. It's also home to Cheeseburgers in Paradise. This used to be a chargeable venue, but it's now inclusive in your fare. Let's take a seat and see what we've all gone for. Of course we're kicking things off with an ice cold DC. Mum goes for a makeshift Mexican platter, Dad a mix of pasta, prawns and salad, and for me, of course, the cheeseburger and fries. They usually serve a lot more fries, but I asked for a small portion. Mum and Dad both report an average but tasty meal, and I really enjoyed my cheeseburger. Post lunch, should we go and see what the other rooms are like on board? These are located on decks 4 to 7, and you have 2 different room types to choose from. Entry level is the interior room, which, as the name suggests, is without a window and occupies 176 square foot of space. Next is the picturesque ocean view cabin, which is the same size, but comes complete with a porthole. Again, it looks updated, fresh and perfectly adequate, though I'd be wary of maintenance issues, which we found in our suite. So I think it's time that we give afternoon tea a try, because coffee didn't work this morning. Will it work this afternoon?
I hope so.
I hope so too. Let's go and check it out. I'm excited to see the coffee shop is open now, so this is a chargeable venue, but there is a great deal on offer. Aside from coffee, you can indulge in a variety of freshly baked cakes, or indeed gelato. I've gone for an iced coffee, expertly crafted by the lovely barista. Really nice guy, and he made a fantastic coffee. Now, me being me, of course, it doesn't just stop at coffee when sweet treats are on the agenda. Happy to report the Black Forest and coffee cake are spectacular. I must say also the venue itself has been tastefully updated, and aside from the small portholes, which cannot be helped, it's a nice place to while away an hour or so over a brew. Perhaps time for some retail therapy. This is the deck to do it, with plenty of Margaritaville merch on offer, from sun hats to flip-flops, t-shirts, and even an inch of gold. Now, I'm aware there's one area we haven't explored yet, the very top deck 14. This is home to the ship's Hemisphere nightclub, but also to a pool table. Naturally it's chargeable, which is fair enough, however it's only output 2 balls upon payment. Thankfully a member of staff is on hand to assist, however the pool table is definitely on its last legs, as Dad found out when accidentally potting the white. It never came out again, so we had to improvise. Despite this earlier error, Dad wiped the floor with me. The bar itself is not open currently, and does so at 10 PM tonight. Who knows, maybe we'll return later on. But we did discover an air hockey table, which after paying another $2, found out it seems to be lacking quite an important ingredient. Yeah, there's no air. Anyhow, we're notified of the ship's imminent departure, and I'm keen to observe whether we're going to drift back into the dock again. I'm happy to report that so far, so good. So where do we head next? Well, back to the port of Palm Beach of course. This is only a 2-night voyage, as are most of the itineraries with this ship. You know what time it is?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Let's head to deck 12 and to the 12-volt bar for a margarita. A couple of strong margaritas later, it's time to head to dinner. We're in the main dining room tonight, and rather than open dining, it's organised in sittings, which means we need to get in this long queue, which extends into the Euphoria bar. Not complaining though, we get to see this place come alive. A few minutes later and we're heading into the main dining room. It's a huge venue and has also been in receipt of a half-decent refit. We're shown over to table 122 and settle in. Menu-wise, it's all included aside from a few special upsells from the Steakhouse. Drinks remain supplementary, of course. Mum and Dad opt for a wine. Meanwhile, I order a beer served in the can. Classy. To start, I have the Cajun gumbo, Dad the tuna, and Mum the spring rolls. For main, Mum has the stuffed mushroom, Dad has the blackened salmon, and I have the Caribbean barbecue pork chop. All are excellent and I'm most impressed. Naturally, the roaming photographer comes around after dinner, and well, another $50 later, dessert time. We all partake this evening, with I think the most creative being the baked Florida. That dinner was honestly superb, and to think this is an included restaurant. To close off our evening, I think we'll catch one last show at the Stars on the Water Theatre. Once we arrive into Florida in the morning, we'll talk money and also my overall views on this cruise. Welcome back to Florida. This also means it's time to disembark, so I'm looking forward to utilising the premium departure package, which we paid for to allow for a swift exit.
Ponte 5, step 5.
Oh wait, yeah, it makes absolutely no difference, and disembarkation is a free-for-all. About 20 or so minutes later, we finally make it off the ship. So how much did I pay for this experience? Well, it doesn't come cheap. If you include my ticket price along with all the extras such as speciality dining, expedited boarding and drinks, it comes to a total of $2,423. This is horrendous value when you consider what is delivered for $1,200 a night, especially when comparing to other lines. However, if I had booked the standard ocean view cabin and add in about the same again for upcharges, you'd be looking at approximately $700. So apparently on average 2/3 of the people on board Margaritaville have never cruised before, which brings me on to my conclusion. It's aimed at those who want a brief getaway, but also who want to enjoy drinks in the sunshine with family and friends. I think the cruise line can deliver part of this, with overall good food and transport to the Bahamas, but it fails in the upkeep of the ship with basic maintenance and lack of facilities. I can't help but think if all you want is sunshine, a bed and drinks, then a basic beach resort in Florida would be a better proposition.
Welcome back to Florida.
And thanks so much for watching.
We'll catch you all again next time.